We are back with more XLB action as we start week number 9 here in the XLB, just rolling right along. And the week is going to kick off with a matchup between the Sacramento Bees and the New Orleans Young Guns. These two teams near the bottom of their division. Sacramento 6th in the West, and New Orleans 7th in the East. Right now, if the playoffs started with 14 teams, Sacramento would be a 12 seed, and New Orleans would be a 13 seed, which would put them facing off against, where the hell's that at in the schedule? Okay. Sacramento would be facing the Purple Rain at this point, and New Orleans would be facing the Santa Fe Rattlers. If the playoffs started right now, of course, a lot can happen here in the next 5 weeks. The legends for the Bees include Evan Longoria and Albert Bell. For the New Orleans Young Guns, it's Jose Canseco, and the leading vote getter right now for the All-Star game in the East for catcher Mike Piazza. As we have been tallying All-Star votes, and Mike Piazza, the #1 vote getter for catchers in the East right now. And we'll just sprinkle that in as these games go along this week, give you a little insight into who might be an all-star here in the XLB season number 2. On the mound for the Bees is going to be Brady Singer from the Cincinnati Reds, and Zack Littell from the Tampa Rays on the bump for the Young Guns. Couple 2-7 pitchers, so it might be favorable for the hitters, and that's exactly what both of these teams need. As you take a look at these two team stats coming into this game here, both teams have an ERA over 4, but the Bees have a 5.95 ERA. That is tough, man. 22 walks accrued by Sacramento batters, though. That's good for second in the league, and they've scored 22 runs. So they've not been able to turn those walks into runs, unless every run that they've scored has been from a walk. Only 7 walks drawn by the New Orleans Young Guns. They got to do a better job of getting on base with the walk. So we'll see who could potentially avoid relegation, which is something that we'll get into as this season draws to an end and we head towards the postseason. But yeah, 2 teams are not going to survive this season, as they'll be kicked out of the XLB and replaced by 2 new teams. And it's going to be teams that are near the bottom of the regular season standings and the playoff standings. So these are 2 teams here that definitely need a win this week. I think I got everything touched on here. Jason, anything you want to add before we get started?
I think you got it.
I think I got it. All right. So the Bees are going to lead off. It'll be Nico Herner in the leadoff position. He comes into today batting .367 against Zack Littell here. And Herner will be out of there as he'll ground out to the shortstop to get things started. That'll bring up the #2 man, Corbin Carroll, as Sacramento moves some guys around the lineup. Littell will get Carroll to fly out the right. 2 down for Evan Longoria. And Longoria will shoot a single into left. Longoria gets on base. He was only batting .160 on the season coming into today, so maybe he can kind of get something going towards the end of the year here. That'll bring up Albert Bell, 1 on, 2 down. And Littell will get Bell to ground out to third, error 5-10. Let's take a look at the Young Guns defense. Ernie Clement, error 2. So that is going to be a ground out to third and the top of 1. That'll take us to the bottom of the first, where Singer will come out and take on Luis Arraez. And Arraez batting .259 on the year. Not your typical leadoff hitter with speed, but he does get on base. And Singer will put him on. A single into center for Arraez, and that's why he's the leadoff hitter. So leadoff man on for Joe Adell, came over in the James Wood trade. And Singer will walk Adell. 8th walk of the season drawn by the Young Guns. That'll bring up Jose Canseco. Now you get into the heart of this lineup with players on base, and Singer finds himself in an issue. And Canseco will smoke a single into left. So the first 3 batters all get on base against Singer, and now Shohei is up with the bases loaded. Nobody down. And Shohei will strike out. First strikeout of the day for Singer. Now Piazza up with everybody at double play depth. And Piazza will take that one high and deep. My goodness, that is a grand slam home run out of here.
Regulate any stealing of his property. You're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steal, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
And Mike Piazza has put the Young Guns on the board in a big way in this first inning in a blaze of glory. His third home run, 12 RBIs now for Mike Piazza, and a grand slam in the first inning off Brady Singer. That'll bring up Ernie Clement.
That's why he's leading the votes.
That's right, and I will continue to do so now. Clement's out of there as he'll ground out to first. 2 down now in the bottom of 1 for Bryson Stott. And Singer will get Stott to ground out to second. But the grand slam puts the Young Guns on the board here in the first. Off the bat of Mike Piazza, top of 2 we go, where Drake Baldwin will lead off for the Bees. And the Bees, I'm just going to say this, and this might be controversial, but I think a grand slam in the first inning is not going to help your ERA. Drake Baldwin against Zack Littell. And Littell will give up a single into left to Baldwin. Second hit of the day for the Bees. As now they got Ben Rice at the plate. And Ben is out of there as he'll fly out to right. 1 down here in the top of 2 for Brent Rooker. And Littell will get Rooker to ground back to the pitcher. And that's a double play. So Littell gets the double play to get out of the top of 2, and we head to the bottom of 2, where Wyatt Langford leads off. And Langford will strike out. Good number.
Yeah. 27, my goodness.
Winds up being a strikeout. That'll bring up Trevor Story for the Young Guns, the 9-hole hitter, batting 167 on the year. And Singer will strike him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brady Singer. He's got 3 on the day. And Luis Reyes back at the plate here in the second. And Reyes will slap a single into left.
What he does.
Stupid leadoff hitter. 9th hit of the season for him brings up Joe Adell. 1 on, 2 down. And Singer will give up a single into center to Adell. So this top of the lineup doing work for the Young Guns. That'll bring up Jose Canseco. 2 on, 2 down. And Jose is out of there as he'll ground out to second. And that'll end the bottom of 2. 5 hits for the Young Guns, 4 runs, head to the top of 3. Let's take a look at the schedule for this week in the XLB, as we have 2 teams on bye this week. And that is the Terminators and the Gladiators off this week. We got some good games on here. Owaka and Santa Fe, a matchup for first place in the West. And don't sleep on that Danville-Buffalo game, as that could have some major playoff seeding implications in it. So another great week of action here in the XLB. 6 games on the slate. And we're in the top of the 3rd, where Gunnar Henderson leads off against Zack Littell. Fix the camera real quick. Littell will throw a pass ball. And PBZ 71 35. Difficult grounder to first. If CD1-2 scores error and runner advance. If CD3-4 batters out. CD3-4 batter out. It is CD3, so Henderson is out. Grounding out to first. That'll bring up Stephen Kwan, the 9-hole hitter. And Littell will strike him out looking. First strikeout of the day for Littell brings the leadoff hitter, Nico Herner, up. And Nico is out as he'll line out to short. 3 up, 3 down for the Bees. And the bottom of 3rd is where we'll go. And Shohei Ohtani leading off for the New Orleans Young Guns. Singer will strike him out. 4th strikeout for Singer brings up Mike Piazza. Singer will get Piazza to ground out to the catcher. 2 down for Ernie Clement. And Clement will get an infield single. Runs that one out. Ernie not known for his speed on the base paths, but gets a hit there. 6th hit of the day for the Young Guns. PBCD for Bryson Stott. And he'll slap a double that'll score a run. So that'll bring Clement in. The RBI double off the big hit there. 5 runs on 7 hits through 3 innings here for the Young Guns. Bring up Wyatt Langford, 1 on, 2 down. Singer will walk Langford. 2nd walk of the day issued by Singer. 2 on, 2 down for Trevor Story. And Story will slap a single into right. Stott is speed B.
Send him.
That is Brent Rooker out there, T5. So 11 to 62 will score it. And 53 is in there. As Stott will cross the plate and Story scores another run. For the Young Guns. And Singer might not be much longer for this world.
Oh, jeez.
He's going to be killed. Luis Arraez at the plate. And Arraez is out of there as he'll ground out to 3rd. And that'll do it for the bottom of 3. But 2 more runs put up by the Young Guns. Top of 4 we go. Corbin Carroll leads off against Zack Littell. Carroll came into today batting .296. And Littell will get him to ground out to short. 1 up, 1 down. Brings up Evan Longoria. PBCD for Longoria, and he'll strike out. 2nd strikeout for Littell, as he's got Albert Bell at the plate. And Bell will slap a single into center. 3rd.
Some all-star votes.
Yeah, he came into today batting .346. 3 home runs for him this season. Gets another hit right there. That'll bring up Drake Baldwin, 1 on, 2 down. And Baldwin will be out of there as he'll ground out to 1st. Littell gets through 4. 0 on the board for the Bees. Bottom of 4 we go. And it's going to be Tanner Banks checking in for some long relief. And Banks will come in and take on Joe Adell. Try and deal with the top of this lineup. And Banks will get Adell to fly out to deep left. A home run saving catch by Corbin Carroll out there. So 1 down here in the 4th for Jose Canseco. Banks will get Canseco to ground out to 2nd. 2 down for Shohei Ohtani. And Ohtani will take a walk. So after bemoaning how they haven't walked much as a team, they have walked 3 times in this game. New Orleans came into today with the least walks taken in the league. They've got 3 in this game. Moves them up next to last. They'll put Piazza up 2 on or 1 on, 2 down. And PBCD for Piazza. And he'll slap a double. That'll score Ohtani. That's the 5th RBI today for Mike Piazza. And the Young Guns have taken advantage of those said walks and plated them so far. Clement will be out of there as he'll fly out to left. But another run on the board as Banks comes in relief but gives up the 7th run of the game. And we head to the top of 5, where Ben Rice will lead off against Zack Littell. PBBD for Rice And he'll strike out. Third strikeout of the game for Littell. We'll bring up Brent Rooker. And Littell will give up a single into right to Rooker. So again, Sacramento, more of a small ball team, but when you're down by 7 this late in the game, got to find a way to drive the ball deep. Sacramento actually came into this game next to last in the league in home runs with 7. Gunnar Henderson at the plate, 1 on, 1 down. Littell will get Henderson to ground out to second, and that's a double play. So once again, Littell puts a man on, but then gets the double play out. Takes us to the bottom of 5, where Tanner Banks will come in to take on Bryson Stott. And Banks will get Stott to ground back to the pitcher. 1 up, 1 down for Wyatt Langford at the plate. Banks will get Langford to fly out to right. 2 down for Trevor Story. And Banks will walk Trevor Story.
That's steal.
The only number that could have been a walk. Going for second. Story's in there.
Brady.
As that is Trevor Story's 3rd stolen base this season, and brings up Luis Reyes. And Banks will get Reyes to fly out to center. They'll do it through 5. Top of 6 we go. Stephen Kwan will lead off against Zack Littell, who has been dealing. And Littell will get Kwan to ground out to first. 1 up, 1 down brings up Nico Herner. And Nico, he'll hit a single into center. Again, small ball for the Bees. Their 5th hit of the day. Bring up Corbin Carroll. Littell will get Carroll to ground to first. OBRA safe at first, though. That is Carroll. Still 2 down, and Carroll will go for second. 26, Corbin Carroll will slide in there safely. So runner in scoring position now for the Bees, as that is Carroll's 1st stolen base of the season. It brings up Evan Longoria. And Longoria will take that 1 yard. So first runs this season given up by Zack Littell off the 2-run shot. That's Longoria's 1st of the season. And 8th for the team. Buzz and blast from Longo makes it 7-2. And they'll bring up Albert Bell. Nobody on, 2 down. And Bell is out of there as he'll fly out to left. 2 runs on the board for the Bees. Still down by 5, though, as we head to the bottom of the 6th, where Joe Adell leads off against Tanner Banks. And Adell is out of there as he'll fly out to center. 1 up, 1 down. Jose Canseco at the plate. Banks will get Canseco to fly out to deep left. So another home run saving catch by Corbin Carroll. That's 2 in this game. The Saloon at high noon, a very short porch out there in left. Ohtani up with 2 down. Banks will strike out Ohtani. First strikeout for Banks gets him through the 6th. 7-2 on the scoreboard. Top of 7 we go, where Drake Baldwin will lead off against Zack Littell. Baldwin batting 154 coming into today. And Baldwin will be out of there as he'll ground out to short. Air 7-10. We'll take a look at it. Story is air 3. So 1 down here in the 7th for Ben Rice. He's batting 167. And PBBD for Rice, and he'll slap a double. Seventh hit of the day for the Bees, as Ben Rice puts himself on second. His first double of the season will bring up Brent Rooker, 1 on, 1 down. Littell will strike him out. Fourth strikeout of the day for Littell, as he's got 2 outs here in the 7th against Gunnar Henderson. And Henderson will strike out as well. Back-to-back Ks for Littell. Get him through the 7th. Bottom of 7 we go. Where Matt Stram will check in. And Stram will take on Mike Piazza. Been a tough out today. And Stram will strike him out. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom 7. Ernie Clement at the plate. Stram will get Clement to ground out to short. 2 down for Bryson Stott. And Stott will strike out as well. 2 strikeouts for Stram here in the 7th. Top of 8, Stephen Kwan leads off against Littell. And Littell will get Kwan to ground out to third. 1 down here in the 8th for Nico Herner. And Littell will strike out Herner. 6th strikeout for Littell brings up Corbin Carroll. And Littell will throw a wild pitch. Comes back to Carroll, and he'll strike out. 7th strikeout for Littell. He's through the top of 8. Bottom of 8 we go. Matt Stram taking on Wyatt Langford. And Stram will strike him out. 3 strikeouts for Matt Stram and 4 batters now. Brings up Trevor Story. Stram will give up a single into left to Story. 10th hit of the day for the Young Guns.
Bye.
That'll bring up Luis Reyes. And Stram will get Reyes to ground out to first. No error. A or B, so Reyes is safe there. Gotta be quicker with the turn. They'll bring up Joe Adell, 2 down. Oh, wait. Scorekeeper got ahead of himself there. Stram will strike out Adele, and now you're free to put the 9th inning up there. 4th strikeout for Stram. Timeout on the field taken. As Littell will go 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits, striking out 7 and giving up the 1 home run. Carlos Estevez will come in. And he will take on the heart of this Bees lineup, Evan Longoria leading off. And Estevez will strike out Longoria. 3rd straight strikeout for Bees hitters. Brings up Albert Bell. And Estevez will get Bell to ground out to first, 2 down. Brings up Drake Baldwin. And Estevez will get Baldwin to ground out to first. No error. And that's how this one will come to an end. That win is going to go to Zack Littell. And lit up early, Brady Singer going to hang the loss. MVP of this game going to go to Mike Piazza. 2 for 4 with a home run and a double and 5 RBIs in this one. This game will move the New Orleans Young Guns to a record of 3-5, and all of a sudden they're sniffing around a bit higher in the division. And this will move Sacramento to 2-6, tying them with Salt Lake City in the cellar. Again, relegation. 1 team in the East, 1 team in the West going to be relegated at the end of the season. So we'll see how this game could potentially impact that. That's Week 9 kicking off for you. Tune in for more XLB action as Week 9 rolls along. Thank you for watching.